The objectives are to bring innovation to watercrafts. There's a lot of kayak companies out there, there's a lot of people making a lot of great boats. We're just trying to find the niches that other kayak companies don't fill. The Bellyak, which is the face-first kayak you ride on your stomach, gives you a whole new perspective of riding the river, a whole new level of excitement, a whole level of thrill. Class 5 fun with Class 2 consequences. Bellyak Incorporated was started by my wife and I in 2010. We've been just trying to go low cost and do a lot of it ourselves. We have no employees except Anna and I. And have some good family help. My uncle designed kayaks for many years, Alan Stansel. And so he's been an invaluable resource for me and other people along the way. So what makes it different is, you actually lay on the boat. There's no other boat out there that is a lay-on-top kayak. In addition, you can also ride it sitting down, like a regular kayak, hand paddle. It's all made to be hand paddled, or kneeling. So you can ride it in multiple ways, which makes for a very dynamic way of going down the river. And one of the things that the Bellyak offers is, the only gear that you have, in addition to your life jacket, is webbed gloves. You don't have to buy a bunch of gear. Growing up around kayaking, the majority of people's concern was, I'm not going to get in that and put a spray skirt on. I don't want to be trapped. These people might be athletes, mountain bikers, athletic, outdoors type people, but they had a fear of the spray skirt. So the freedom of the Bellyak not having the spray skirt offers a level of excitement for people that I feel like will be one of its main selling points, is the freedom of it. So when I came up with the idea for the Bellyak, it was just a natural extension of, what happens if I lay on my kayak and go down the river? And I was like, wow, this is great, but I need to get my center of gravity lower. And so really that's what started the process, the prototype process for me. The way I built all these prototypes to start with was taking old kayaks, all my old kayaks, and cutting them up, cutting them in half, taping them back together, filling them with 2-part polyurethane foam, creating a plug, and then carving out the body thing. Well, then at a certain point, I had to go past the kayak hull. I was just using the kayak hull to start with. The first one was a prototype of a Perception 3D from the late 90s. I cut it up, and that was filled with blue board insulation, liquid nails, vinyl, like plastic over the top of it. It weighed like 86 pounds. But I took it down the river a bunch of times, and it was great. So I knew then, with a really rough prototype like that the concept was sound, and it was worth, spending a couple $100s at a time buying new materials, new fiberglass, and starting to build this up. It's been a ton of fun. We've just been taking it to the river, go paddle it, come back to the shop, build another one, go paddle it, build another. We're not looking for world domination. We're just looking to release a really good product and turn people on to this new sport. But there's runs like this all over the world, beautiful Class 2, Class 3 streams that in a kayak are fun, but once you get to a certain skill level, you want a little bit more. Whereas the Bellyak offers you a lot of excitement on these rivers. You have the full control of a kayak, you have the ability to have speed, whip into eddies, surf, but since you're so much closer to the river and face level with it, it brings a much more exciting ride. So I think there's a lot of people out there who appreciate increasing the thrill of their local run without necessarily increasing their risk to themselves. You still, you're using hand paddles, but since you're laying down, you're able to, carve into and out of eddies. It feels like you're flying on the water, which is a great sensation. It gives you a sensation of speed. The people we've had try it with who have also kayaked, who maybe never mastered their role, were able to run harder runs in the Bellyak than they would be able to in a kayak, and they were able to enjoy themselves a lot more because they didn't have that fear of being trapped. And that's the whole point, just to give people a really exciting ride. And that's what we're developing this boat for, is to give people a great time on the water. I think the majority of what people see in the media is Class 5 kayaking, which is awesome. I think waterfalls are great, and I'm amazed at the levels of the sport that people have been taking it to. However, you could look at that as almost the 1%, and there's the 99% of everybody else who just wants to go paddle down the river. Anybody who just enjoys adventure and likes to have fun on the river, but they may not be a kayaker. So for us, it's carving out our own niche, and while at the same time taking people like me. I've been a lifetime kayaker and still love kayaking, but I also love this. So I do think there will be a lot of crossover. So for us, it's just going to be gaining support, getting the word out from people, showing them what this is all about, and getting them fired up about it.